Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. And I love videos like this. And yes, I have a good one for you today. Have you ever done anything out of vengeance or spite just to go after somebody? Well, here's a couple great stories for you that are great. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We have a sponsor today, Delete Me, and I will talk about them in a bit. But first things first, Tia McCrary bought a Kia K5 from Taylor Kia in Lima, Ohio. And 1 month, not a day, not 2 days, not 3 days, 1 month after she bought the car, they notified her, hey, you don't have enough income to qualify for this. And she's like, what are you talking about? So what did they do? They repossessed the car while she was at work. Very embarrassed. She was furious about this. So she was pursuing legal options. What can I do to go after this person? So dealership, the finance guy, everybody, she just was furious. So as she was researching legal options, she realized that Taylor Kia had not registered their name with the Secretary of State for the state of Ohio. It had expired. So what did she do? She went out and re-registered Taylor Kia in her own name. And then once they approved it, they cashed her check. She contacted Taylor Kia and said, you need to cease and desist using my name. And they were like, what are you talking about? No, I am the registered owner of Taylor Kia, which was awesome, okay? Now, they went and sued her. And the appeals court eventually, initial court, sided with the dealership and said, you can't take over their name. This stems from a legal contract. There's attorney's fees. There's an arbitration clause. You can't even be in court right now. And what happened? The appeals court said, no, that's not the case. She can sue you because this has nothing to do with the legal contract for the purchase of the Kia. Now, bravo to her for doing this, because this is great. And she owns that name right now. So there's still legal proceedings, and I will keep you posted on this. But every now and then, guys, you have things that come up like this. And we had one here in Southern California that was fantastic. And there is a taco place called Del Taco. Del Taco has been around for like 60 years. In the late 60s, an employee of Del Taco wanted to leave the company, so he spun off, and started a place called Nogles. Nogles was huge here in Southern California and on the west, Nevada, Arizona, places like that. Well, eventually, Nogles was bought by Del Taco. End of story. So what happened with that was Nogles eventually got consumed by Del Taco, where there were no more Nogles left. So it was a fan favorite. People either liked Del Taco or they liked Nogles, just different food, different names for stuff, and, bun tacos and stuff that they had there, and chili cups and all this stuff. Anyways, Del Taco eventually gets rid of Nogles completely. A food blogger named Christian Zybarth goes out and says, hey, you guys need to bring back Nogles. You need to bring it back, and gets a meeting with Del Taco management in 2006 and makes a presentation to them in 2006 and says, listen, you guys need to bring back this product, this product, this product, and is basically just placated. And, oh yeah, those are great suggestions. I'll bring it up to management. The person that took the meeting didn't take it seriously at all and blew him off. So what did he do? Christian Zybarth went out and started looking at the Del Taco name and filed for the name, the the Nogles name, and said it had been abandoned. And this story takes kind of a wild twist, because at first they were like, no, we didn't abandon it. They had not used it for decades at this point. And they blew off the name, and he went out and filed for a patent. At first it was denied. Then he went to the appeals court, and they gave him the trademark name for Nogles. And that guy went out and got an investor and opened up a test kitchen in Mountain Valley, California. It's there still today. They've opened up a few more locations. They've tried to look at franchising. I was told they were going to do 1,000 locations via franchising. Haven't done that yet. But where this thing takes a wild twist is my son Grant went to school with a kid named Colin. Colin was a good kid. His dad, Noah, was a really good guy. And I'll never forget, Noah came up to me at the baseball field one day and says, "Hey, I'm getting a job. It looks like I'm going to get hired by Del Taco and be the head of marketing there." Wow, that's a huge job. Well, flash forward to today and researching this story, Noah was embroiled in that lawsuit where they went to him and they said, during the appeals court, you need to show us that you guys didn't abandon this name. So they brought up, different posters, different, placards and things like Viva Nogles and stuff like this that you can read the story below because it's great. But the appeals court said no. So Christian Zebarth is the legal owner of Del Taco now. So have you guys ever seen anything like this before? Have you ever done anything like this? I have had people walk up and, come to my medical events. And as we start researching people, every now and then they will tell you something. Oh, we're the leading company that does this. We're the leading company that does that. And you try to find their website and it's non-existent. Now, I have had people give me different names and different things. And I own hundreds and hundreds of domain names, okay? And one thing that we would do is if they didn't have the domain name, we wouldn't steal their name. If it was a product, like my favorite one was, people that are in the cannabis space, a lot of them are, challenged ethically, morally. They bring in Dr. Ponytail as their expert, and they may have questionable science behind it. Let me just be kind and put it that way. I hate these people when I would do medical conferences because they were untrustworthy and unethical in my mind, okay? It's not like you have the FDA signing off on this stuff, and they would always an issue with that. So with that being said, there are some things I bought over the years that were funny that people would do that. So anyways, now you can't be unethical and you can't use somebody's name and go on a vengeance tour because they get sued. And I've proven that before, and you win. And you can read about that when my book comes out. But the idea with this is that people do heinous things all the time like this. So have you heard of anything like this? And I love the stories. Read them below, but let me know what you think about this. Let's talk about our sponsor, Delete Me. One thing that is out there that's working against us every day are data brokers. Data brokers compile all our personal information from our name, our address, our email, our phone number, personal information about us like our job. And there is something you can do to stop this. You can use a service called Delete Me. Delete Me is absolutely fantastic. And what they do is they go against these data brokers and get your information personally removed from the internet. I've had this service now for a year, and it has done so much. And after you sign up, they ask you information about yourself, then they go to work, and it has been absolutely fantastic. I've had such stellar results with this. If you use the discount code iAllegedly, you save 20% off their regular price. It's absolutely fantastic. If you don't want to use the link below, use this QR code. Take a picture of it with your phone, and you can sign up for this service and save the 20%. It's absolutely fantastic. It works great. I love it. They have removed so much stuff about me. My email, my phone number, my address, family members, where I work, everything about me. It's fantastic. Check it out today. Use the iAllegedly discount code and save 20%. Go to joindeleteme.com, iAllegedly. Okay, check it out today. Now there's a lot more to cover. First things first, remember a couple weeks ago we talked about the Boeing strike where they were offered a 20% discount, a $5,000 signing bonus. Remember that? Well, guess what? That offer got raised. Forget the 20%. They got a 40% offer in St. Louis for the machinist there. 40% increase in pay, and they turned it down. All 837 members of the local St. Louis union turned it down. That is insane, guys. 40% increase. You were fine minus 40% at one point in your life, but you want more, okay? So that's nuts. Elon Musk just got his pay package approved at Tesla. It's not $56 billion, it's $29 billion. So he's getting $29 billion to run Tesla and to stay there. They need to keep him at the EV company, they're saying. That is crazy, guys. So you don't have to worry about Elon. He can take a hit. He can be upside down financially. And, people can hate Teslas this week and not hate them next week. But right now, that guy's going to make $29 billion more. Now, the next thing is Warren Buffett. Two things about Warren Buffett. Think about this. He was saying, investment-wise, the best thing to do right now that he would do if he was starting over is he would buy a distressed house with a 30-year mortgage, and he would go out and he would just rent it out. He would become a landlord. He wouldn't mess with stocks. He wouldn't do anything with that. Now, with that being said, think about this. Kraft Heinz, they made a multi-billion-dollar purchase into Kraft Heinz to own a percentage of that company, and they said it didn't work out for the last 10 years, and they're taking a $3.8 billion write-off for the Kraft Heinz loss that they put money into. That is wild, guys. $3.8 billion loss. People are not buying condiments, guys. They're buying the cheaper brands. They're not buying Velveeta. They're buying the knockoff store brand. So you're seeing this more and more and more right now, guys. It's just nobody can afford anything. But when you have companies like this that are taking these hits, it's going to continue. So again, I mentioned Warren Buffett. Either people like him or they hate him. Berkshire Hathaway has lost almost 10%, 9.5% of their value since he announced his retirement, and they're starting to go through, this anti-honeymoon period where everybody's trying to say, wait a second, maybe this is a problem. Remember last week I also talked about the, combining of two railroad companies, Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern. Well, people are saying the regulators need to get in and they need to stop this. Again, it would be terrible if you could take a train or ship something across the country and have one carrier. Again, do you care about this? Is it going to make it too expensive? Start your own trucking company if you don't like it. See how that industry is doing right now. It's terrible. Talk about an industry that's losing its shirt. And I'm telling you, weekly, you could run a channel on freight companies going out of business right now because there's so much content for that. So it is nonstop with this. Oh, I love this one. JP Morgan employees that are being demanded to go back to work. Think about this. Two things about this. JP Morgan just spent $3 billion on a skyscraper, brand new skyscraper that they built. So the Fed spent $3.1 billion to remodel a building. Okay, you see the problem with that? You built a skyscraper for $3 billion. Now employees are furious right now because they have a state-of-the-art gym that makes Equinox, which is the most expensive gym I've heard of. Anyways, they're furious. They don't get to use the gym. You have to pay for this now? That's crazy. So office perks are going away. A very expensive gym is just one more thing that you're going to lose access to. It's done, guys. So heaven forbid you actually have to go to work. Well, if I have a gym, Dan, I'll be incentivized to stay at the office longer. There's feelings about this. It goes back to the old Google way of let's give you free food, and then you get great stories from people that are, talking about how they, people wanted pheasant during lunch and, hamburgers that were made out of Wagyu. So let me know what you think about this, because I think it's funny. And again, they're upset that, they have to go back to work in the first place full time. God, I'm not a New York guy. Been there. I appreciate it. Grateful when I hop on a plane to get the hell out of there. What do you think? There's still a lot more to cover. A few things that are funny is the New York Post has a great story for you below talking about how the media is not telling the truth when it comes to return to office. One thing that they're saying is that, everybody is full. People should be back to work like it was, in 2019. Only problem was it was never full. It was never 100% full. Right now, Manhattan is at 55% occupancy, lease occupancy. And you know what they've done since 2020? Added more buildings. So where do you get to? Do you get to a point that it's adequate that people are working enough, or is it not? I mean, I think it's crazy that people are not told they have to come back to work. That's just my opinion. But, I got a kick out of that. Now, the next thing is a woman rents a car from a car company out of Texas called Sixt, Sixt. And she gets a double blowout in the car. She contacts the company. They said, well, the way it works with us is you have to go out and you have to pay for the repair. You got to go pay for the 2 new tires, and then we reimburse you. So she's on her trip. She does that. And then they go, okay, we've initiated the wire transfer. 1 week goes by, 2 weeks go by. Well, sometimes it takes 2 weeks to get a wire transfer. I don't know about you guys, but it takes 15 minutes to do to wire someone money once they press send on it. So she's been waiting a month and a half and had to finally go to the media to say, is this ridiculous? But I'm telling you guys, I rented from Hertz once, got a flat tire in San Diego, California. Bring me out a car. I'm not changing this tire. Not going to do that. What did they do? They brought some kid out there who I'm sure changed the car on the side of the road, and they switched cars with me. That's how you should do it, So, again, starting to see more and more problems like this, that are happening. So what do you think about that? Don't forget that we have a private channel called iAllegedly Live. You sign up at iAllegedly.tv. It's everywhere. Amazon, App Store. Dozens and dozens of you have signed up over the last week. It's beautiful, and it's fantastic to do this content. I love doing the uncensored stuff for you. Check it out today. Now, the final thing, if you, sign of the times when you have, spirit companies that are hurting right now. And the Kentucky whiskey business, there are so many bankruptcies on this. The last story will be the bottom, but you're seeing more and more of these people that are going out of business right now because people are not drinking whiskey right now. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I know restaurants that were like, hey, we're going to be whiskey inspired. What does that mean? Does it mean it's a bar? That's what it sounds like to me, whiskey inspired. These places right now are hurting. People are not going out. The wine bars in general are suffering. Some are doing well. I had a friend's daughter and son-in-law. They wanted to start a wine bar, and I did everything I could to show them how this was a losing idea, and that people, first thing they do when they go to cut back financially is get rid of alcohol and things like that they don't need. It doesn't pay your bills. It may mask and drown out things, but that's why you're seeing all these bourbon companies go out of business. So let me know what you think so far. I think this is fascinating stuff. And if you want to get a hold of me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. And I'll see you soon. Onward and upward.